graduated my master's of law, but the thing that really crystallized for me being a mom and able to be successful is you have to have the support, right?
I remember God saying to me, listen, if you didn't die at the point of impact, you're going to be okay. You know the point of impact. When you get the knock on the door, you know the point of impact. When you pick up the phone and you get that news, if you didn't die on the point of impact, you're going to be all right. That's a good place to clap your hands right there.
Inside of you. There's something more powerful inside of you. Honey, y'all better take a breath. I'm telling you.
It wasn't mine.
You gonna get some deliverance here today. And welcome to the Nicole Mason Show. Yes, where we bring the most awesome women to you, phenomenal women who are moving and shaking in their respective industries. And I always say it every week that today is like no other, because it is not. Every week we have some phenomenal women coming in to share their stories of trials, triumphs, what they're doing in their businesses, how God has blessed them, everything in between. But I am certain that you will be empowered, you will be motivated, and most importantly, you will be inspired to take your dreams to the next level. And today, I'm so excited about this sister that I have with me today. We've been trying to get together for some months now. Yes, her schedule is so crazy. My schedule is crazy, but we were able to make it happen today. And I'm so excited. So I want to introduce Dereky. No, excuse me. Let me back that up. Dr. Dereky Martin-Hagler. Let me give you some information about her. She is an award-winning and acclaimed interior designer, real estate and construction business owner. With her husband, Al Hagler, she is the co-founder of A Designs, based just outside of Washington, D.C. A Designs has been renovating homes and businesses and creating new, unique commercial and residential spaces since 2004 in the Washington, D.C. area and beyond. Dereky has a passion for creating modern architectural spaces and turning any home or business into a design masterpiece. Dereky fell into the construction and design field. Earlier on in her professional career, she held numerous executive positions in sales. After achieving success in her sales career, she pursued a new challenge and obtained her real estate license. In under 2 years, she was one of the top real estate agents in the state of Maryland. Shortly thereafter, she met Al and together founded A Designs. The real estate boom during the 2000s helped fuel their business. As the market grew, Dereky and Al bought, renovated, and sold many homes in the D.C. metropolitan area. During this time, Dereky developed a love for interior design and the creative talent to visualize spaces. In 2008, when the real estate market crashed, she decided to expand her knowledge and went back to school to learn the academic aspects of her passion and began her formal training as an interior designer. Be careful. With a client list that includes national celebrities, athletes, restaurants, local business owners, and individuals, The DNA Designs portfolio has grown steadily over the past few years. Move over just a little bit. A few notable clients include, we're trying to get ready here. Hey, say hey to Periscope people. Hey. A few notable clients include R&B singer Trey Songz, former Philadelphia Eagle Brian Westbrook, NBA player Andre Blatche. How do you say it? Blatch? Okay. And actor, Broadway star, and former boxing heavyweight Mike Tyson. In 2016, okay, let me move down. Okay, my engineer is working with us, y'all. Thank you, Mike. He's so awesome to me. Yeah, be careful on these little swivel chairs. Okay, we have to get ourselves together. Okay. In 2016, Dereky was named one of the top 20 African-American interior designs in the USA. In 2010, Dereky earned a certificate in interior design from the University of Maryland University College. She lives in suburban Washington, D.C. with her husband and family. Let me tell you, I'm so excited. Yes. I want to introduce to some. You know how we do in church. I want to introduce to some and present to others. Dr. Dereky Martin-Hagler. Woo, woo. Hey, girl.
Thank you
Yeah,
for having
talk right to
me.
him.
Thank you for having me. We've been trying to get together, so I'm
Listen,
so honored.
Listen, we've been trying to get together for almost a year,
Yes.
okay? I'm so excited that we were able to do it today. But wait a minute. Let me tell y'all what happened. So she came in, and she's so humble. This is why I love her. You know, I only bring certain kinds of energies to my platform, right? And so we're just talking. I tell her that I'm traveling after the show. She says, yeah, well, everybody's traveling. This one is traveling. That one is traveling. Yeah, and you know, I have to go down to Atlanta, you know, because I'm going to pick up this award and da-da-da-da. I'm like, wait a minute. Back up. So let's start there. Let's start talking about this phenomenal award that you're going to be receiving this week.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited. I mean, when I say
Yes.
so excited, like bursting through the seams, honestly, because Al and I have been at this for a long time. And to see God finally like open up doors and to see us being like named or awarded, I mean, that's just such an honor. So what it is we'll be attending the African American Interior Design Conference in Atlanta, Georgia this week.
Wow.
And on Wednesday, we are amongst the top 20, which will receive an award for the top 20 African American interior designers in the world. So when I
Wait a
say
minute,
in the
excuse
world,
me.
I'm like, ooh.
Wait a minute. See, you going too fast. Did y'all hear that? Did you hear that, Periscope people? The top 20 African American designers in the world?
Yes, African American interior designers.
Oh,
in the
interior
world.
de-
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So excited about that.
Listen, that is just phenomenal. But let me tell you something. There was a time in a season that when you put your work into it, when you are faithful and consistent, and we were talking a little bit before we started the show, when you are faithful and consistent, God always blesses us.
He does.
So I am so super excited
Thank
about
you.
that.
Thank
I am. So when you start talking about the design business, talk about when you are started, you know, what made you start this? Because like I told you, we met several years ago. Yes. And you were selling real estate.
Absolutely.
And then when I saw you again, that was when social media came about, because we met before social media, right?
Yes.
And so when social media came about, when I saw you again, you were doing the interior design and the construction.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. First of all, anytime you are a woman in a male-dominated field, baby, you have to have some chutzpah, okay? Y'all know what that is? That means you have to have some you have to have
some backbone.
Some backbone, right? Some confidence about you.
Yes.
So talk about that transition,
Sure.
you know, from, okay, all right, now we're going to do this. Well, let's try this. Talk
Okay.
about that.
Sure. So I was in real estate sales, and I was, I wouldn't say dominating real estate sales, but I was doing very well.
No. See, I told y'all, she's humble and modest. Dominating real estate sales, okay? When you cut on the radio, you heard her, okay? Dereky Martin, selling real estate. I remember, and that's how all of that came together. Okay, so please, she was dominating this field. All right, go ahead. So I'm gonna interject with, because she over there, she won't do it. I will. I will.
So I was selling real estate, very successful with that. Then we woke up literally like overnight and the real estate market crashed. And I was like, oh, my house is not selling. What's going on? We also had real estate investments, several investments where we purchased the homes and we renovated the homes and we had them on the market to sell, and they weren't selling.
Okay.
So we had multiple streams of income because the income was from the construction with Al. Al's been in construction for over 25 years.
Okay.
He had a vision way before I had a vision. He took me to a HUD home about 25 years ago when he was physically doing the work himself. He doesn't do it anymore. He supervises the guys now.
Sure.
But when he was physically doing the work, and he said, "What do you think about this home?" And I was like, I had no thought because I was in corporate America, so I didn't think anything about a house. I mean, it was dilapidated. I mean, the weeds were growing out. Like an Amityville horror. So he said, "Well, this is my home." I said, "To live in?"
Wait a minute. Let me rethink this relationship.
Right. I'm not living there.
Right.
And he said, "No, to renovate and to flip. What is that?" So I had no clue. That was 25 years ago, before like the housing industry got really hot. But anyway, so he's always been in construction. The real estate market had crashed after we had like our investment houses out there. I had lots of real estate sales out there, and everything we did was wrapped around real estate. So I was used to making like a certain amount, a high amount. And then we crashed.
Wait a minute. Let me interpret. She was used to being the baller shot caller. Okay? All right. Not no little thousand there. All right. Let me let y'all understand here. Okay. So yes, go ahead.
So
I'm interpreting for her today.
So the market crashed, and I was like, oh my God. And we crashed. So when the market crashed, we crashed. There was no plan B.
Okay.
So because the plan B, we thought we had plan B with the multiple streams, but everything we did was tied around real estate. So we had to kind of reinvent ourselves. He was still doing construction, but when the market crashed, nobody was doing anything to their homes. I mean, they weren't renovating. They didn't want to touch their homes because everyone started experiencing negative equity in their homes. So why put money into your home?
Right.
Then our properties didn't sell. So with that, like I said, everything crashed there. So I decided to take some design classes. I mean, I've always had a passion for it with after I got into real estate. So I did real estate appraisals first, which showed me like which improvements would add value to a home. So that helped me. That helped me with real estate sales. I've always been in sales, real estate sales. When those two things crashed, like I said, I took some classes, got a design mentor out of Texas. Her name was Miss Sylvia. She is Bishop Jake's actual designer for not only the sets for the Potter's house, but his own personal house. So she kind of took me under her wing, which I was very, very fortunate. She's one of the few pioneers in in interior design. So she immediately took a liking to myself, and she said, come to Texas, spend some time there. I had the flexibility. I have a good support system with my kids.
Sure.
So I had to, so I went to Texas for several weeks, and I would go ongoing so she could kind of teach me the ropes of design as well as take classes. So I got hands-on as well as practical knowledge. So from there, I didn't have enough confidence. So, I would do projects pro bono in exchange for trying to get like recognition, and I got so taken advantage of. I mean, those were the days. So I got these gray hairs in my head right now. Those were the days that I got these gray hairs. I mean, it was.
But you know what? I have to stop you because this is so awesome. I don't know where that came from. This is so awesome because what I hear is how God started connecting the dots long before you said, okay, this is the way we're going.
Right.
The path had already been laid. Right. So that's the first thing I hear. And then when you start talking about the confidence, I think that's so important because all of us as women, particularly when we have a new venture that we're going into, or we have a heart to do it, but we just don't know if we can do it. I love this, and this is why this platform is so important, so that women looking at you, looking at me, can understand and know, listen, you're not alone. You are not alone. We all have to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
So just really getting the confidence and building yourself up in your most holy faith, as the word says. And when you say I was so taken advantage of, we won't even go there. We won't even go there. Okay. I'm a lawyer by trade. How many times have I, tried to help folk and, just like really, trying to build my confidence up in this new area, many years ago when after I passed the bar and all that. The moment that I flipped it and I can do this, you're going to have to stop paying me, those calls were less.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So I love the fact that you are sharing that and just really being transparent about this walk that you have taken. Okay, so you met with Miss Sylvia. I love that.
And I would call her frequently, and I would say, we did this job, and I think we did a good job. And so she said, okay, well, was it profitable? And I would say, she was like, you know what? One day you'll get it. One day you'll get your confidence. And when you build it up, then you'll know your value.
Right.
And I had to learn that through this journey. And it took probably up until maybe like last year or maybe the year before to still recognize and realize like our value. Because in my head, I would tell myself stories like, I was a real estate agent. People are not going to take me seriously. How did she become from a real estate agent to a designer? Oh, she's just always hustling. She's just doing something. So I would tell myself stories like that, and I would talk myself out of my own confidence.
Yeah.
So it came to a point when I realized that not only did I have the training, but I felt like this was a gift.
Yes.
It was a gift. I didn't go to school for it. I'll be the first one to say it. So people won't say, oh, well, she doesn't have a 4-year degree. I never said that in design. I said I had a certificate. But I didn't go to school 4 years for interior design. I didn't study under the largest interior design firms. So I feel like most of most of my vision comes from the gift that God has given me. And one thing about that is that you can't take away that gift. When God gives you that gift, I'm telling you, so when I get involved in a project, once I'm there and once, if my mind is free, I'm freely flowing. I feel like it's the anointing that's freely, that I'm freely flowing in. So I'm so excited. That's why I get so passionate about my projects. Al gets upset sometimes because he's like, you go overboard. On the projects, he's like, remember, like we're in business. And I know, honey, I know. Yeah. So I have learned to find creative ways to still be profitable, but still deliver that wow factor along with getting my confidence back. And that's important in any business. You have to have your confidence and know your worth, because once you know your worth, then there's some jobs, all money isn't good money, and there's some jobs that you walk away from. People always say, oh, well, I can get it cheaper somewhere else. And before I would say, oh, well, let me see what I can do. Now, well, you know what? That's a great deal. If someone tells me, such and such charge me, you may want to go with them. Right. That's a great deal. And in life, just remember, you get what you pay for.
Okay. Y'all know I got to stop right there. I got to do my interpretation. So let's back up. Okay. So first of all, we have to understand the power of mentorship. Okay, so I want you to talk a little bit about that. Okay. But my grandmother was a business owner for over 50 years. She and my grandfather migrated here from South Carolina. Wow. My grandfather was a master tailor. He made all of his clothes. Wow. I'm telling you. Now, but they say necessity is the mother of invention. He was one of Goo Glob's a kid, so he had to make his clothes if he wanted to wear them. But he became so dapper that everybody started coming to him. So he's made clothes. He taught my grandmother to sew. Wow. So they came up here from South Carolina. So I grew up in a business. So when you talk about all money is not good money, I saw my grandmother turn people away to say, no, I don't want your business, depending upon what kind of attitude they had, kind of energy they were bringing into the business. It's like, no, you can go down the street to the other cleaners. So that's a good point. But I want you to talk about the importance of mentoring. And, you didn't just get a mentor, you went straight to the top, right? I love that. And what was your thought process as you were thinking about, I need to get a mentor?
Well, my thought process was the fact that I did transition from another industry. Although it was housing related, it still was not directly related. And I've learned in life, if you want to be the best, you learn from the best. Yes. So, that's why I said go straight to the top. I saw her work. I saw who she was working with. She's a no-nonsense person, and I like that because she'll shoot it straight. Even to this day, she'll say, wait a minute, are you tithing? Are you going to church? She was a Christian, God-fearing woman. Then she would say, okay, what are you doing in your business? When I say she shoots it straight, I'm like, oh, my gosh. Like, I've never gotten chewed out by anyone but Miss Sylvia. So I just listened, and she's like, are you there? Yes, I'm still here. But good, but everything that she's taught me, I've taken it, even though at that time, like, I may not have received it, I still would
Sure.
expand upon it, and I've applied the principles.
Yes.
And she last year, she had a liver transplant.
Oh, wow.
Last year, and we get together every year, every April and October at the High Point Furniture Market. And I saw her last year, and she was way smaller than I was. I mean, she had lost maybe about 70 pounds.
Wow.
But closing my eyes, I wouldn't be able to tell that she was going through a terminal illness. And before she left me last April, she hugged me and she said, "I want you to know something." And I was like, "What?" She said, "I'm very proud of you." And when she said that, I was like, "Well, why are you telling me that? You going somewhere?" Like, you act like you're going somewhere. No, I just want you to know that. And then, I walked away and I said to Al, I was like, wow, like, is this going to be my last goodbye? But she's still standing. She's still standing. She's still fighting. She will be at this conference this week. So I'm so excited to see her. But I'm saying that to say that her saying that to me, it meant a lot, because, like I said, the importance of a mentor, when you get affirmation from someone who's been trying to get you to get it for years, and when you hear someone say that, I'm very proud of you. I mean, I get so excited. I share my work now with her. I sent her, she was like, "Wow, beautiful," and I'm like, "Wow, coming from her, like, that's a high compliment." So that helped also build my confidence, and when I go through pitfalls in business, I can call her. And she can help guide me. So that's very important with any business that you're starting out and any business that you're continuing in. You absolutely need a mentor to bounce ideas off of, to bounce suggestions, bounce problems, or whatever. So she has been a tremendous force in my life.
That's powerful.
But not only that, her health thing, though. Just knowing that I'm like, wow, like, when I'm on the phone, I'm like, "How are you?" She said, "Oh, I'm blessed. Oh, I'm healed." Just hearing that, I'm like, okay, why am I complaining? Like, what's my problem? If she can get up every day still, I have no problem. It's lots of days where I'm like, okay, you know what, later for this design stuff, I made more money with real estate. I was like, the mess with this. And Al, too, I'm like, I can stay home if I'm not going to make any money. I had those days, but you know what? I said, you know what? I had an old saying that says, when you keep throwing something against the wall, eventually something will stick. So every day, even though sometimes I don't feel like it, I put my feet to the pavement and I'm like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? Yesterday was yesterday. Come on, let's keep it moving.com. So, I mean, that's just what we
that's
are.
powerful stuff. We say hey to Miss Sylvia, look, Miss Sylvia, hey. And that, and the other thing, not only is she mentoring, but when you get someone that has a relationship with God, what I hear also is she is interjecting her faith into your heart and into your spirit. Come on, you can do this. We can do this. And that is powerful. So I think let's go to a couple of the pictures. We have a before and after. I just wanted to show some of your work. So we have before. Okay, so that's before. Okay. All right, so then we have the after for that one. Girl, that is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, okay, thank you, Mike. My engineer's going back and forth. Okay, this is before. Okay, after. When I saw that the other day, I was just like, this chick and her husband are the bomb.com. Okay?
Let me put a plug in for my husband, because he is listening.
Hey, Al.
I could never do any of this without Al. Al is the executor of my vision. I think Al can do anything. So I'll go into a house or a property and I'll say, we can tear this wall down. We can do this. And Al is looking at me like, are you crazy? and I tell him, well, don't say that in front of the customer. Like, just go home and figure it out. So out loud, he's like, well, if we move this wall down, I'm like, don't process out loud. Like, we can do it. Right. And I just applaud him, because he'll figure it out. He'll work it out. He used to do the work before then. And like I said, he executes the vision. So I have this vision in my head. And of course, like, we don't do it on paper. And like, I don't have any architectural details, but I have them all in my head. But he flows with me with the anointing. He has a gift too, where he's able to execute the vision all day long. So some people was like, okay, well, I have my own contractor, I'll just use her. But there is no DNA without the Al. So that, which is Al. So I just wanted to give him a shout out.
Al, that's right. And listen, we can stay right there too, because there's something powerful when you are in a partnership where you all support each other. And I can say that for my husband too. He's sitting right outside now, just sitting in the car waiting for me.
Patiently, right?
Yes, patiently waiting. He was helping me get ready today because I'm traveling. And that's very important when you are talking about implementing and executing your God-given purpose and your God-given talent. And so I love that. There's no D without the A and no A without the D. Right?
It's not, you know what I can honestly say, and not to stay on Al, is that any idea that I've had, I'll tell him, okay, you know what, there's a conference tomorrow in Vegas about design. He's like, okay, let's book the flight. So he's never been that spouse that's ever stood in my way.
Yeah.
As crazy as any idea has been, he's always been like my biggest supporter.
Yes.
He's just like, let's do it. And I'm like, really?
Yes.
And he's like, come on, let's do it. So he puts his full confidence in me, but I'm grateful for that because just think if he was one of those type of husbands that said, we don't have the money, you don't have the training, we don't have the time, it would have been a barrier.
Yeah.
But anything that I come up with, Al is like, come on, let's do it. Like, I'm with you. Even if he's hesitant, he's always with me, but I'm appreciative,
absolutely,
you know, of the support. And like I said, it allows me to be able to flow freely.
Yeah,
so thank
that's
you.
awesome. And we say kudos to our husbands. Woo! Al and Sean. Woo! Woo! Yeah, because, you know, when you are really working and operating with what God has given you, it's just powerful when you can have somebody who is your greatest fan, who is your greatest supporter. And so I really applaud you both. And you all are just so beautiful, just a beautiful couple. Whenever I see those pictures, it just makes me smile, makes my heart smile. We also have another one, before and after, pick 2. And okay, so here's before. Okay, and I think hopefully I got the right one. Okay, then do the after. Was that it?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, do it again, Mike. Before and then after. It takes vision.
Now, this particular one, because you see it's Matt Construction, this particular one is a before of a salon, and we're implementing this idea right there. We're adding our twist to it. So if you go back to the before, right here, so that's like our twist to it, but by the time it's finished, it's actually going to look better than that picture right there. So that's a salon that we're doing in Upper Marlboro now. So we're implementing. So what I do is I get design inspiration from like House. I get design inspiration from out traveling. I get design inspiration from like our God-given gift. And what I do is I'll take it and I'll tweak it and I'll add our DNA spin to it. So we have a new upcoming salon that you're probably going to ask me later on about. I'm getting ahead of myself, but very excited because this is a 5,000 square foot salon, and it's going to have everything from boutique to they're going to have like a hair bar. You know, selling hair is a big thing now. They're also going to have 2 spa rooms there. Salon services, pedicure services, and the materials and the finishing that we selected and the chandeliers and everything. This is like my biggest and best project ever. Like, I mean, like I'm jumping through the roof about this project, and it'll be delivered in about 30 days. So I'm very excited about that.
So we're going to make sure we have some pictures on that one. Let me tell you, it takes vision, and God has to give that to you, because when I see that, I don't see what it could look like. I just see that it's like, oh, okay. So I don't have that kind of creativity when it comes to artistry. Now, if you give me some pen and paper, I can write and baby, I can tell a story. Okay, I can tell a story. But that has to come from God. It's no other way to explain it. Go back to the first one, please. Pick one before and after. First of all, who puts a chandelier in the salon over the wash? Over the shampoo. The shampoo. Let me say it right, because they get you. They don't wash hair. They shampoo. Who put? Okay, and then go to app. Who does that? Wow. That is just awesome. And then the bowls. When I looked at the bowls, I'm like, okay, really?
So we try to be contemporary on the cutting edge. The thing that distinguishes our company from another company, and I always tell people that you get 2 for 1. So you get the designer and the construction person all wrapped into one. So it kind of takes the guesswork out of it. So you don't have to worry about you get in a construction company and they come with 0 ideas, or you show them a picture and they try to implement it. No, we come with our own ideas and we give suggestions, and we stay on the cutting edge. So 6 times a year, Al and I are like in the air going to either Las Vegas for a builder show, or we're going to a flooring show, or because we want to stay on the cutting edge. Everything comes on the West Coast first, and then at least 6 to 9 months to a year later, it migrates to the East Coast.
Wow.
I don't want to find out about trends by going somewhere local. I want to be ahead of the trend.
Yes.
So that when I introduce it to my customers, they won't say, well, such and such got that because they went to Home Depot or they went to Lowe's or they went to this towel store around the corner. They no. We want to have the latest and the greatest so that we can introduce, ourselves to our customers. People work hard. They work hard for their homes. So when they go home, they spend more time home than anywhere else. So when they go home, they want to feel comfortable or appreciate them working hard.
Yeah.
So because of that, I want them to feel refreshed in their space that they go to. So that's very important for us.
Well, you do a great job because I tell you, if I were a client at that salon, I would be so excited. Really, when they put your head back to shampoo and you looking up at that chandelier, because really, environment really is everything.
It is.
Environment really is everything. So one of the things I know that you wanted to talk about was, giving tips for people, because you hit the nail on the head. My husband and I, we have some ideas of what we want to do with our home, but the whole point is, now who we going to hire to do the contracting? Because you always, under construction, because you always hear these horror stories about people coming in, taking your money, not knowing what they're doing, So when you talk about you have the design and the construction, that is a win-win for most people, because it's either one or the other or neither.
Right.
Or neither.
Right.
So talk about some of let's talk about how they can contact you all first. Let's do that.
Sure.
So give them your website, social media handles, so they can contact you.
Okay. On Instagram, we are D&A Designs, which is plural, LLC. So D&A Designs LLC. On Facebook, my name is odd, but it's easy. It's Dereky, so Daricka with a Y. Dereky, Martin-Hagler on Facebook. Or, so again, that's Dereky, Dereky, Martin-Hagler. Or it's D&A Designs on Facebook too. I have a D&A Designs LLC page on Facebook. And then our website is www.D&A-Designs, so it's spelled out D&A-Designs-LLC.com. Again, www.D&A-DesignsLLC.com. And back to, I know you said the design trends, but you also mentioned something about ambiance or decor, the environment is everything. We have started this new thing, like in my brain, like I just have it and I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how to implement it. But have you seen the show like Bar Takeover, or it's a show called Bar Takeover where a person goes into bars and then they renovate them, and then there's Tabitha that does a salon takeover?
I haven't seen those.
So
now y'all know I'm a big HGTV fan, but I haven't seen those. But I'm gonna look at them now just because you said something about it.
So the gist of the show is they go into commercial establishments, and the commercial establishments are older. They look a little run down, and because of that, their sales are down. So just recently, we went into some commercial establishments. We remodeled them, and as a result, we can document where at least 2 commercial establishments have experienced at least 300% growth since we've renovated their salon and assisted them with marketing. So we're excited about that, and I would love to do more of that. So there's a lot of barbershops, a lot of hair salons, a lot of restaurants that we patronize. The food is good, but it looks like it needs a little bit of updating, to say it nicely. So, and we would love to, and I think that they could increase their market share, if it was a little bit more appealing, because sometimes we want to dress up a little bit and go out to a nice establishment, or we want to go up to a place where it doesn't look like it has rodents or whatever. So so we would love to come in.
So that, and that's the other thing too. I mean, really having this company that is a full service company. So not only are you coming in to renovate, then you're going to help me market.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there.
So
sis.
I have a person that's working with me now that's trying to develop the concept with us, and that could be, remember I was talking about HGTV, that could be like a concept for that. So it's just that angle. I mean, we work with investors now, because we used to teach how to purchase homes for real estate and flip them and make money.
Yeah.
So we work with investors now that are renovating houses. So what they're doing is purchasing them, and then we're fixing them up for them, and when they go in the market, they sell in less than 30 days, and So, I mean, the investors making money, so they come back to us for repeat property. So, I mean, it's just so many different angles.
Do
So.
y'all see why it took me a year to get her, right? Because they are busy. I love that because I didn't know that you all were doing all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I don't post everything. I'm just like behind, like because we just be so busy.
Right.
So, yeah. So, but
but I love that. Just put your head down and work and make it do what it do, as they say, right?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Gotta grind.
So talk about other women. Are there? I know this is an industry that there aren't a lot of women in. Okay, so talk about how you are, thinking about increasing the number of women in the industry, or if there are women, how are you all coming together? How are you networking? I know Nicole Parker does some construction.
She does.
I love her.
She's
hey,
amazing.
girl,
Hey,
yes.
Nicole.
So, and I know that you all are just a minority in this industry, but just making it happen. So talk a little bit about that, particularly, and I speak from, working in an environment where I am the only Black woman in the boardroom, so that has a whole different dynamic, talking about your confidence. You better know who you are when you show up in these places.
Oh, yeah.
So talk about that, has that been a struggle for you when you show up, dealing with the construction companies, how you've overcome that, just that energy.
So it has been a struggle. Funny you mentioned Nicole, because we just collaborated on, she has a new office. So she said, you know what? She said, I'm going to hire you to do my lobby as well as her own personal space.
Yes.
So we are currently working on that now. But as far as the industry and being a woman and being an African-American woman, it has its setbacks, or it has its disadvantages. When we first started going to the trade shows, keep in mind, we're the only, some of the trade shows, we're the only, when I say we, Al is always with me, we're the only African Americans that attend.
Yeah.
And I don't understand, because if you're in the industry, I really feel like you need to stay abreast with the new changes, the new trends, but we're the only ones there. And at first it was awkward, but the sales reps, because of our volume now, they're warm. But before, it was like, who are you all? Do you have a store? What do you do? Let me investigate first before we do business with you. Now they're our best friends. Rest assured, it was a time that we would go to North Carolina to some of our furniture wholesale vendors that's only exclusive to the trade. We walk in some showrooms, and believe it or not, people's hands would start to shake. Like, can I help you? I was looking like, okay, but like, is there a problem? And even still, it was a time when it was 9 of us at this one particular show. Only 9. I can count on one hand. I'm sorry, 2 hands. How many of us it was there? Now it's a lot more. But just breaking into the barrier of construction as well as design, there is not a lot of diversity. Even when you watch some of the networks, there's not a lot of diversity in this area. So it has been a struggle, but I think that some barriers are being broken. The glass ceiling is starting to come down some, and we're very excited because even you said, how do we connect with other women? We're going to a conference, like I said, this week. It's called the African American Interior Designers Network, where we're coming together and we're collaborating. And even the top 20, like, we're coming together, we're brainstorming, we're collaborating about our awareness, create more awareness about diversity, about being on the front line. There's one gentleman, his name is Corey, and he shared a story that someone didn't see his picture before, and it was out west, and they invited him to come in, and when he came in, because he was African American, at the door, they kind of stopped him. And he said he was just very shocked that this color of his skin was a barrier and not the creativity that he had in his brain. And, he shared the story. And then he said, on the contrary, there was another couple in Massachusetts that called him and gave him the complete opposite and gave him like a multi-million-dollar contract. But I'm just saying that some barriers are being broken, but there's still a ways to go, as you can tell. So, in this industry.
That is awesome, and I think, it's in every industry, we know, but really, and this is why I always talk about the 3 power C's. You have to be confident, you have to be competent. And I believe that when you are confident and you have the competence, then the courage is sort of like a byproduct. It's like, really, I know my stuff. Here's my work. Here's my portfolio. My work speaks for itself. You know what? And guess what? And this is what I love about you and Al. No, you don't have to let us in. We're going to break the door
we're
down
gonna
because our work speaks for itself.
Right, we're gonna break that
We're gonna
door
break
down.
the door down.
So if you don't use this, I got to the point now where I'm saying if you don't use this, that's your loss.
That's right.
Right, we keep it moving.
That's right.
.com, because I know, what type of services that we can offer. And speaking of breaking the barriers, we were in a meeting a couple years ago, Al and I, with this builder, and he only builds $1 million houses. And he was a Caucasian builder, and we were in a meeting, and he was trying to fluff the homeowner with, I'm 90% done, and all he had was framing.
Wow.
Done. No drywall, no plumbing, no rough ends, anything. And he was asking for like a $300,000 check because he was 90% done, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, like, no, like, you're 30% done. And he turned beet red. But as a woman, how dare you challenge me, number one? You don't know anything about construction, number two. But I'm like, but I kind of do. Like being being around Al for so much on the jobs. I tell him now, I'm like, okay, Al, that's your sandbox. I'm gonna stay in my sandbox. I need to be able to create. You go ahead and do your construction, and then once the walls are up, I come in. But anyway, it was an awkward moment, but he knew that I was right. And like I said, that's the point where I knew that my confidence was there. Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, I know my stuff. So.
And that speaks to your integrity, and I think when you go into these industries, people will test you. And so if you are not clear on your confidence and your competence and not courageous enough to speak up to say, no, that's not what I see here. Because one thing that I do know, and my mother used to say this all the time, you don't ask for respect, you demand it. And it's not about what you have on, it's how you show up. And this is why my hashtag show up great, because that was my whole upbringing, the messaging. But it makes people respond to you differently, because I'm certain that the next go around, he would not say we're 90% done. No, you're not talking to some average Joe Blows here, right? No, and some Jane Blows, right? No, you are talking to people who are competent in this area, and we're confident enough to say, no, you're not 90% done. Right. Yeah, that's powerful. So what are some of the other things that you all have going on? Because let me tell you, all these things that you have, these different pockets, girl, this is phenomenal. Oh my goodness, it's great. So what are some of the other things you all have going on?
So we have, like I said, the salons. We're working on a couple of projects for investors. Yeah. We have some remodeling. And, I hear from a lot of people that I went to school with, they will say, well, I didn't call you because I just felt like I couldn't afford your services. And I said, but you didn't try. Yeah. Like, you didn't try. Like, you didn't reach out. Someone said, oh, I had a bad experience with, someone else. And I'm like, why didn't you call me? Well, you didn't try. I just did a project, was it last week, for someone I went to school with. She had 3 bathrooms. She contacted me, I think, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, she wasn't financially ready, because when she told me what her budget was, I was like, I just can't make it work. I can't make it work. So, she did save, and she contacted me again, and it still was a limited budget, but we made it work for the limited budget that she did. She wrote a testimonial, and she told me the other day, she said, I'm just still in awe. Like, I look at my bathrooms, and she's like, brings tears to my eyes. Yes. And I'm saying that point to say, we went to shop at the big box stores because that's what her budget dictated, but it didn't matter. It didn't look like it. Yes. Like, her end result still looked like a designer came in there and did the best job that we could do, regardless of what, her budget was, and within reason, because, somebody will take this and run with the other direction. So within reason, but like I said, and it just that was a thank you to us, and know that, okay, we are on, the right path. I went to another client's house the other day. We did her bathroom a year and a half ago. And I didn't want to go see the bathroom because I just didn't. And then, but I had to use the bathroom before I left. And I was like, oh, I need to use the restroom before I get in the road. And I went. I was like, oh my gosh, like, your bathroom still looks like we did it yesterday. She said, I get so many compliments on my work. That was a year and a half ago that we did her restroom. And she did a testimony also on Facebook Live. She said, I'm just so thankful. She said, now I'm ready to get my kitchen countertops done. And she said, and I called you back, again. So we have a lot of those clients, and that's, that's very rewarding for us, because sometimes, even though we are a profit business, it's not about the money. It's about how we're making the customers feel, how they feel about their space, when they walk into the space. And so funny, because some of the spaces don't even look like it belongs with the rest of the home. But they're like, okay, but we'll call you back. we'll call you back for those other spaces. And I said, that's fine, because most people just do,
Yeah.
room at a time. And that's
Yes.
fine with us. I mean, you
Yes.
got to do what's within,
Right.
your budget. That's fine with us. So we're excited about different things like that.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I told you, just me watching you over the last several years, what I sense is a passion for the work and not, braggadocious. I think we all should be confident about what we do, but not braggadocious, because you could be online talking about, oh, yeah, we just left Trey Songz's house. Here you go. No. This is the space that we're creating for people so that they can live better. It's all connected. You can live better. You can feel better, really, because your environment really adds to your health. Your mental health, your physical health, all of those things. And this is why I told you, this is an opportunity. This is you all's time. It's your season to move into some areas that have been in your heart because of the passion that you have, and really being a blessing to people, paying it forward, because all the clients are not high-end clients.
No, they're not.
But the thing that I love about it is you all bring the same level of energy and the same level of expertise to all of the clients. And that's what's most important. So I have to ask you about, teaching other people and, having classes so that you can, it would be impossible to recreate yourself, but, at least have some people that, can work with you and that can kind of take your energy and, continue to expand and scale and do these things, So talk about that.
So I am going to open that opportunity up. I've had several people that ask me, several people that have a natural knack for decorating.
Yeah.
And that would free me up as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
So we are going to open that up probably like next year, like once I get some stuff off my plate, so that I can divert or exert the time and energy towards being a proper mentor, because I don't want to let anyone down, say that I'm committed to this type of time, but I know that I have to give back, just like Miss Sylvia took the time with me to give back. So I know that I have to give back. And then also another thing that I did want to touch on, because I know we're going to run out of time, but one of the projects that we really, really, really enjoyed was the Bostons, which is a fire damage property that we were, I contacted the news stations just to see if they were covered, and it was a day that it snowed. And if you know anything about this area, when it snows, like, that's all you see on the news, like 100 times, and it overshadows everything. So what the executives told me was, it's supposed to snow, but if it snows, then we may not be able to give airtime. Every single news station in this area covered that story, 4, 5, 7, and 9. But the most heartwarming thing was our ability to give back to the Bostons. They had suffered a tragedy. Mrs. Boston, she told the story. She was here before. I think it was on with Renee Allen, her show. But she told the story about how she had to be resuscitated twice because of the house fire.
Wow.
How her husband was unconscious. They was in shock trauma for months. It was just on and on and on. Their tragedies that they went through. Yeah. And we they were getting ready to give their house away to an investor before it caught on fire for like $100,000. It caught on fire, so they couldn't give it away to the investor. And we got involved with the renovations. And I said, you know what? After meeting her and finding out about her tragedy and how she said her house was the house of HELL because there were so many things wrong before the fire. Like, she didn't have a properly working kitchen. She only had one bathroom that was leaking and it wasn't properly working. And she said, she had mold everywhere, mildew everywhere, and the fact that how she was in a hospital, and a nurse said to her, you almost died and you lost everything in a fire, and walked out the room when she had tubes in her throat. So she couldn't respond. She panicked because she had to press the button because she was getting ready to go into cardiac arrest from that. Then how the doctor came in and said, your lungs are infiltrated with water and you have 7 days to live and you need to prepare yourself. And so she said she got out of her bed, stayed in her chair, and she prayed to God and said, God, if you give me another chance. She said she stayed in her chair until she didn't even go back in the bed until she was able to be released. She said, I promise I will serve you. But just hearing stories like that from her, we knew that it was our duty not to just reconstruct her home, but to go above and beyond. And that's what we did. We did it from the heart. And that story right there, even today it still touches me. She sent me a text probably about a month ago, and she said, she said, my knee is really bad. She said, I went back upstairs, and she said, because I don't go up there often, she said, I just want to thank you. She said, it's tears that are brought to my eyes. You are God sent. And that's when I felt like our passion with what we do met our purpose.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to deliver when we go in people's houses, because, you got to anoint your house about every spirit that comes in your house. So because of that, I felt like, okay, God, okay, now it's coming to us. Like, what is our purpose for doing this? Like, and like I said, days when we want to give up and days when we're like, the mess with this, I know that, okay, God has a bigger plan for us. So I'm excited about that.
Girl, that is awesome. I mean, I'm telling you, one of the things that is so critically important when people come back to say thank you, that you have made a tremendous difference in my life, in my environment. That's what serving God and serving his people really is all about. And that is powerful, not just, we have all these great and wonderful things and we love them, granite countertops and all that, love all of that, but really the energy behind it. And that's what really draws me to you. The energy behind the work that you all do is not just going in, taking people's money, not showing up. I can't tell you how many stories, and you know that. You hear all these stories and I can't find the contractor. We don't know where the people are. But really the energy behind it to be a blessing and be profitable. I'm like Miss Sylvia, and be profitable doing
that's the
it.
Key. Right.
So
I know
listen.
Al is saying yes, Dereky. That's the key.
That's right, Al.
See, if I had my phone right here, he'll be texting me. Right. See, I don't have my phone, Al. So
That's right. And so the time always winds up when I'm having a real good conversation. Listen, so we want people to connect with you, and I love the fact that she has shared, if you just have, a budget for one room, okay, reach out. Don't let the extravagance and the excellence of what you see deter you, because they can help you. And I love that.
Yes.
I love that, so that people will know that. Because when you look at it, you're like, I don't think I'm called. Because you put chandeliers in the salon.
That's what it was. I can't afford them. And we ask you what your budget is, not so that we can max out your budget, so that we can still give you a portion of the wow factor. And again, all of this is within reason.
Yeah.
Because some people will take it the opposite way. I heard you say, "Oh, well, you know what? I had $1,500 to do my bathroom." Well, I can't do a bathroom for $1,500, and that just won't work. But anyway, so and I love the fact that we can still go into our clients' houses, and I walk in, I'm like, oh, I like this, and I like the space that we created.
Yes.
So I don't have any regrets. So when I walk in, I won't say, well, darn, I should have did this, I should have did that. We do timeless renovations, not just trendy, even though we stay on the cutting edge, so that when you walk in, you'll appreciate your space. And because of my appraisal and real estate experience, I always make sure or try to do improvements that's going to give you your return on your investment. So that when you renovate, I always think about, okay, if you sell your home, some people are like, I'm not going to sell. Well, one day you may sell. You never know what may happen down the road. But let's make sure it makes sense that whatever we're doing is going to give you your return on your investment. I met someone real quickly last week, and they were like, oh, I want to tear down this wall. I want to convert these 2 bedrooms into one, and all upstairs. Well, you may want to think about that, because no one just has a 1-bedroom house upstairs. When you resell, I said, I would rather for you to put your energy into your kitchen, into your bathrooms. I was like, well, thank you, because no one has told me that. I'm like, yeah, because I still have my little real estate hat on, which I am still an active agent now. With Remax Supreme, Melanie Gamble, that's my girl.
That was my guest 2 weeks ago. Hey, Melanie!
So I am still an agent, but with real estate, I still have that hat on, and I'm thinking about when we do this, it has to make sense for you so that you get your return back on your investment.
Girl, listen, I told y'all she is the bomb.com, baby. I'm going to tell you, DNA Design Group, okay, LLC. That's who y'all want in your space, all right?
Thank
so
you.
I'm telling you, this has been good.
It's been fun.
It's been good. So now, after this next big news, we'll keep that under wraps. But let me tell y'all, she's going to have some big news in a couple of months. Yeah, okay.
All right.
We're sending that out to the universe, and we'll have her back after she gets that big news. But I want to say a great big congratulations to both you and Al on this award that you all are going to be receiving this week. And I'm so proud of you all.
Thank you.
You all are doing well. You make us proud.
Thank you.
You
thank
make us
you.
proud. All right, so we got to sign off, y'all.
Okay.
All right, so it's DNA Design Groups. All right, y'all check them out. And whatever you do it with passion. Pay it forward. All right? Come back and see us next week. Same time, same place. All right,
Okay,
sister.
bye.
See ya.
See ya.
Okay, so y'all. So let me just take a breather. Y'all know me. I'm high energy, right? By this point, I was working on my master's of law. Finished law school, passed the bar, then did my master's of law. But the thing that really crystallized for me being a mom and able to be successful is you have to have the support, right?
I remember God saying to me, listen, if you didn't die at the point of impact, you're going to be okay. You know the point of impact. When you get the knock on the door, you know the point of impact. When you pick up the phone and you get that news, if you didn't die on the point of impact, you're going to be all right. That's a good place to clap your hands right there.
Greater inside of you. There's something more powerful inside of you. Honey, y'all better take a breath. I'm telling you.
It wasn't mine.
You gonna get some deliverance here today.